You know that rush when you start a new productivity system? Everything's organized, routines are clean, and for a moment, you feel unstoppable. Like this time, you finally cracked it. But a few months later, it's gone. Your Notion setup sits untouched, your planner's collecting dust, and somehow you're back exactly where you started. Your system didn't fail. Your brain did exactly what it was designed to do. That drop in motivation is not a willpower problem. It's called hedonic adaptation. And once you understand how it hijacks your focus, you'll stop chasing for the next system and start building ones that actually last. So, why does it feel like every new system fades even when it was working in the start? It's because your brain doesn't exactly reward consistency, it rewards novelty. Think of it like getting a new phone. For the first week, you love it. The design, the camera, all the new features. And then, after some time passes, it just becomes your phone. You stop caring about it as much as you were in the beginning. So, nothing really changed, but your brain just stopped rewarding you for it. And this happened because of this little dopamine spike that rewards the novelty. And let me tell you this, the same thing happens when you start the new app, the new routine, you buy a new planner. I remember I used to love buying planners. I had them in different colors and different texture, but still, I would use it for some time, and then after a couple months would pass, I would just gradually use them less and less until I would completely stop. So, what I just described, neuroscience calls this novelty response. Your brain rewards exploration, not repetition. And once it becomes a pattern, the dopamine drops, and what once felt exciting now it just feels ordinary. And that's what hedonic adaptation is. Your brain basically resets the baseline for reward and creates the new normal. In other words, the brain just gets bored. That's why sometimes this new productivity system feels like a breakthrough, but then after some times, it becomes just boring chore. And you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you if your productivity systems keeps failing. It's just that your brain stopped giving you the same chemical high for the same routine. And what's interesting is that it happens so slow that you might not catch it in the moment. So one day you color code in your calendar and you're feeling productive, doing all your systems and routines, and then over time, little by little, it just starts feeling like work and you don't feel as excited anymore. And of course, I've been there too. I love using productivity systems. And once I was trying to figure out where my time was going, I wanted to track every single thing that I did during the day. And I was very excited to see the results. At first, it became like a routine, and I didn't really think much about it. But one day, I opened the tracker and I just thought, why am I still doing this? So, as a software engineer, I realized that we often build our productivity system for the perfect user. And most productivity systems, they designed for that initial burst of motivation, for this ideal person that you have in your head who wakes up early, who does all the routines, who have high energy, lots of dopamine every day. But think about the real you. Are you really like that every single day? Because what you actually need is a system that survives maintenance mode. Low motivation, competing priorities, decision fatigue. And the problem is that most systems are built for control, not curiosity. They don't build to evolve with you. So every few months, you quietly outgrow your routine. And sadly, but your system usually doesn't reflect that. So your goals shift, your energy shifts, but the system stays the same. So this friction builds up and you eventually just drop that system. So let me show you where the systems actually break. There are three psychological breaking points that kill every productivity system. So, first is complexity collapse. You added one tag, then a property, then a formula, then a dashboard of dashboards, and the system just keeps growing. And the psychology behind this cognitive load kills consistency. So, when a behavior requires too much thinking, you will avoid it. It's like your brain is kind of doing the math every time you open the app. Is the value I get worth the effort that it requires? And once the equation is negative, you stop opening it. Second, the perfection trap. You missed one day, the streak broke, and now the system feels ruined. So instead of logging in today, you just don't open it. This is called all or nothing thinking. And this is a productivity killer that almost nobody's talking about. Your brain says, if I cannot do it perfectly, then why bother doing it at all? But that's not how sustainable systems should work. Systems should revive flexibility, not perfection. So remember, we're not building a system for the perfect you. And breaking point 3, your values drift. So the systems that you build for busy season you, they will not work for the slow season you. The systems that you build for solo work would not work now if you're collaborating. Your priorities shifted, your energy shifted, but your system didn't. And here's what actually happens underneath. Motivation is very complex construct, and it's not only habits. It's a loop between needs, emotion, meaning, values, and so many other things. When your system connects to something that you care about, it fuels energy. But when it only serves structure, deadlines, checkbox, shoulds, it burns that energy out. At first, your brain runs on external motivation progress, novelty, rewards. But once that fades, only intrinsic motivation is what keeps you going. It's that kind of motivation that comes from values, emotions, and personal meaning. So, when your system stopped working, it doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that your system and your values drifted apart. And you're not unmotivated, you're just misaligned. And sometimes you can feel that moment when the misalignment happens. Sometimes you don't. So when you open your planner or an app and instead of clarity, you feel guilt. You look at your to-do list and instead of sense of direction, you feel pressure. That is the emotional resistance. Your brain is telling you the system does not fit who I am right now. And most people push harder at this point. They double down. More tracking, more rules, more pressure. It's like tightening the bolts on the machine that's already going in the wrong direction. But what if instead of pushing harder, you listened? So when you did notice that your system need a reset or some kind of alignment, what do? I've been using different productivity systems, different trackers, different planners to do like I used everything, and I would reset my systems from time to time. And usually, in order to find out that my system needs a reset, I kind of built this framework, and I want to share it with you. It has 3 steps. First is check the emotion. Before you change anything, you should ask yourself, what emotion do I feel when I open my planner or to-do list? If the answer is guilt, fatigue, resistance, pressure, then it's not motivation. Your brain is trying to tell you that it's not working anymore. Try not to ignore that signal because it's actually very valuable feedback. Step 2, reconnect why. Pick one habit or task and trace it back to something that you actually care about. Not, I need to finish this project, but something like, I want to free my weekend. Not, I should work out, but something like, I want to feel stronger and healthier in my body. So when a task connects to meaning, it starts to generate its own momentum again. Because your brain it doesn't run on a structure alone. It runs on emotion, novelty, and meaning. So when those things change, your system has to change with them. Step 3. Build systems that bend and not break. Stop designing your system like it's permanent. Design it to evolve. And here, what it actually looks like. Make it stupid simple. Your interaction with a system on a daily basis should take less than 2 minutes. Like, you literally should feel like it's easier to track than not to track. Give yourself escape hatches. Like, if you're having a bad day, allow yourself to skip the routine or prepare something that you can do in 30 seconds. If you missed one day, just start again like nothing happened. Your system should have a good enough mode because life doesn't always run on perfect conditions. Schedule tiny resets. Maybe every 4 to 6 weeks, ask yourself, what is one thing I can change or remove? Because if your system is overcomplicated, it would eventually die down. So, when you notice that your system is collapsing, do not panic. Observe. That crash usually means that you've outgrown the version of you that built it. And I've been always adjusting and rebuilding my productivity systems. Sometimes I would drop them and build the new ones. So it's always been a very iterative process. And I just thought that I'm not disciplined and I cannot keep up with the productivity system until I thought about this. In software engineering, we have this methodology called agile. You don't build a perfect product up front. You keep iterating and going back and forth with the requirements, with your team, keep adjusting it and adding little details all the time. So I think that the same should be applied to productivity systems. Iteration is not a failure, it's how good systems are built. So your needs change, your work change, and your brain changes. Systems work on the first place because they reflect your values, your priorities, your emotional state. And when those shift, your system needs to evolve too. And that's why no app, no routine, no planner, none of that will work forever. So the goal is not to find the perfect system. It's to keep building the ones that fits who you are right now. So when your priorities shift but your system stays the same, it turns a tool into a cage. So you're not lazy, you've evolved, and your structure hasn't caught up yet. And here's something I wish more people said out loud. Outgrowing your system doesn't mean that you're inconsistent. It just means that you've changed. And people who actually stay productive aren't the ones who never change their system. They're the ones who give themselves permission to evolve it. So, next time your system stops working, it's a cue to redesign it. Not because you failed, but because you've grown. So maybe real productivity is not about control, but about alignment. Not about doing more, but doing what matters in a way that fits who you are right now. The real progress starts when you let go of what's holding you down. If this helped see productivity systems differently in a way, hit like and subscribe. And remember, your system didn't fail. It was just built for the wrong version of you. I'll see you next week.